This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino. As many of you head back to school and work tomorrow after Labor Day weekend, it might be the first time you encounter red line changes. RTV6's Cameron Riddle is working for you, explaining what the new route means for riders.
Well, thousands of Hoosiers have already hopped on IndyGo's brand new red line route across Indianapolis. But now as the long holiday weekend comes to a close, that means tomorrow marks the first official day that people who will be riding the bus to work or school have to deal with changes, and that means getting picked up over there. The 13-mile red line running from Broad Ripple to the University of Indianapolis replaces several routes, puts bus stops in new places, and adds bus services to streets that didn't have it before. For example, if you're on the south side and last week you rode Route 22 into downtown, tomorrow Route 31 will pick you up at that same stop you've always boarded at. For those of you who used to ride Route 31 along Madison Avenue, that is now Red Line Route 90. Again, same stop with a different route number. Similarly, buses along the Red Line, where the bus has its own express lane, there are also new stops. Here along Meridian, you used to catch the bus here on the right side of the road, but now that the new red line is running, you will get on at the platforms in the center of the streets. So again, this has technically already been in effect since September 1st. You'll note here on the signs it says this stop will no longer be served. So if you are here tomorrow trying to get on the bus, you will miss it. When your morning commute begins, you need to be over there to get on the red line route. We have all the details and the maps on how you can get around, things you need to know if you are getting on the bus. It is on our website, theindychannel.com, and on the RTV6 app. Working for you tonight in Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Thanks for all that help, Cameron. As for how drivers will be impacted by the red line, go to our website, theindychannel.com, and watch our special Inside the Red Line for everything you need to know about navigating these changes. Breaking news, police say a man is in critical condition after a hit and run on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It happened around 9:30 tonight on 30th Street near Sherman Drive. We will bring you updates as soon as we learn new information. And the search for a missing 10-year-old girl in northern Indiana is headed into a third day. Skyly Carmack was last seen around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon on South D Street. Today, dozens of volunteers went door to door passing out flyers with Skyly's picture and asking for information. Her father says his daughter disappeared without a trace.
We haven't been able to find any tracks, none of her belongings laid around anywhere. So right now we're just really in a panic because we can't find anything.
Skyly is 5 feet tall, weighs around 100 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. Police say she was last seen wearing a black shirt with the Super Mario Brothers characters Mario and Luigi and black pants. If you have information, call police at 765-674-2278. Indianapolis is getting millions of dollars to help support young people who have nowhere to live. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is awarding $75 million to end youth homelessness in 23 communities across the country. Nearly $4 million will go to Indianapolis to help people under the age of 25 who are experiencing homelessness. The money will be used to fund a range of housing programs. Hurricane Dorian is still at a standstill over the Bahamas at this hour. At least 5 deaths on the islands are blamed on the storm. Dorian, now a Category 4, created massive flooding across the Bahamas. The National Hurricane Center says Dorian is eventually expected to move dangerously close to the east coast of Florida.
And that will be over the next several days. It's a slow mover and will continue to move very slowly, but maybe within 50 miles of the Florida coast. 71, that's our temperature now. We're dry. I just want to point out the cooler air that sits in the upper Mississippi Valley and Northern Plains, about ready to fall into the 50s in North Dakota. That transition to cooler temperatures is where you'll find the strong thunderstorms tonight. 24 hours from now, I think we'll find some stronger storms in central Indiana, and it's part of this transition. Temperatures tomorrow, the warmest of the week with a strong southwest wind. Then Wednesday and Thursday, our temperatures for highs in the 70s. And look at this trend. Thursday through the weekend, low temperatures, mid-50s or cooler in most cases. And with lower humidity, it will be a refreshing stretch of weather. You probably have the windows open for a while. Patchy fog first thing in the morning. That should be familiar. We had that this morning. 78 at noon. Late in the day tomorrow, mixture of clouds and sunshine. Temperature hits 85. The risk for severe storms will be greatest over the northern half of the state late tomorrow into tomorrow night. You see our increasing chance of thunderstorms by midnight tomorrow, about 24 hours from now. Some of the thunderstorms, the initial line may fade a little bit. Then we'll have the actual line with the cold front. It doesn't look to be too prolonged, though. It should be out of here early on Wednesday. Then the refreshing air moves in. Wednesday's high at 75. 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, once we get to Wednesday, consistently in the 70s for highs and 50s for overnight lows. A beautiful stretch of September weather.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Now to the final stretch of our Hiring Hoosiers Marathon. RTV6 is dedicating this Labor Day to workers, sharing career, education, and training opportunities. We start with a local business that's taking action to jumpstart the next generation of workers. Ed Martin Automotive went to a local school district to make an investment in teachers and students. RTV6's Rafael Sanchez explains the deal is paying off for both sides.
Future mechanics in motion, learning everything about fixing your vehicle, from the engine to the fuel injection to the brakes system.
I find it interesting, yeah, and then I want to become like fixing cars.
Leslie Cuatlayo is a junior who believes these skills could help her pay for college and save money on regular car maintenance.
Sometimes I try to help my dad, help like change oil. You get to know other things instead of doing makeup and stuff. So for me, makeup's kind of like not like it's a girly thing for me, but like mechanic, it's really cool.
Lawrence Township Schools partnered with Ed Martin Automotive to create this program at the McKenzie Center for Innovation and Technology. Since 2015, Ed Martin has contributed $75,000 annually to support all of this, especially with the latest equipment. Another bonus, students who graduate will find an employer willing to give the very best a break on an open job.
We are definitely in demand, and a lot of times they want to make sure that they have good soft skills, that they can speak to customers. Most of them say we'll train them, but we need to know that they have that basic foundation of having some experience working with employees or employer relationships, as well as just knowing the basics.
In Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Thank you, Rafael, for that. Well, if you drive on central Indiana roads, you see there is no shortage of road repairs. All that construction means construction jobs. Our RTV6's Mark Mullen shows the industry is full of opportunities.
That large machine Travis Coons is operating to lay pipe at this project on 96th and Keystone on the north side is called an excavator.
There's a lot of gratification to it, knowing that you can do things like this, and you know, you're building America, basically.
He's been building bridges, highways, and overpasses for more than 20 years.
It's very good pay. I mean, it's long hours. It's hard work, but it's very good pay. It's satisfying.
As a heavy equipment operator, Travis is just one part of a vast team working in a stable industry known as horizontal construction.
We're talking about roads, highways, utilities.
With Indiana on course to resurface more than 10,000 miles of roadways and repairing or replacing more than 1,300 bridges, there's plenty of work now and in the long-term future. But this industry is seeing a shortage of workers. A new initiative called Work in Roads is trying to fill the void. It's made up of a handful of contractor companies and building materials suppliers.
All working together to promote, to let people know we have got jobs. We are open for business, and we are eager to have you come to work in the highway construction industry.
Richard Hedgecock is president of the agency leading the effort to recruit employees in the industry, from engineers and inspectors to project managers and operators. The Work in Roads initiative is aiming to reach a variety of populations who might not have considered this as an option to begin with.
Recent high school graduates, returning veterans, people who are consider themselves to be underemployed. We're ready to bring you on, we're ready to train you up, and we're ready to provide you with not just a good job, but a good career.
Travis wants more young people to take an interest in what he does.
I remember when I was the young guy on the crew. Now I'm the oldest guy on the crew, and I don't see that next guy behind me. He's like, where is he?
Working Roads is hoping to come up with an answer to that question. On Indianapolis's north side, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Thank you, Mark. And in 2017, the average yearly salary for a horizontal construction employee in the U.S. was $60,000. Indiana's average pay during that same year was competitive at $57,000. Economists say Indiana is increasing construction employment month by month. We showed you at the top of the hour, the red line is now up and running. Still ahead, we'll show you how rapid transit is creating new jobs now and in the future. And dozens of people are presumed dead after a boat caught on fire off the coast of California. Why investigators are calling it a worst-case scenario. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
In filet sandwich meal, only at Zaxby's. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Several bodies have been recovered, but more than 24 are unaccounted for after a diving boat with more than 30 passengers and crew on board caught fire and sank near Santa Cruz, California. The fire started above deck early this morning as 33 passengers slept below. 5 crew members who apparently were awake when the fire started made it off the boat alive. They were rescued by a Good Samaritan boat. The owners of that boat say the crew said they did everything possible to help the passengers, but everything was on fire.
The majority of the people were the passengers on the ship, and the sleeping compartment was on the bottom deck of the ship, so they would have been sound asleep when this fire started. You couldn't ask for a worse situation.
Search and rescue efforts will continue throughout the night, but the Coast Guard captain says everyone should be prepared for the worst outcome. And we are working to learn what led up to the violence on the northwest side of Indianapolis that left 2 dead and 1 injured in separate incidents. The first happened just after 11 o'clock last night. Officers were called to Broadmoor Plaza near 56th and Kessler around 11 o'clock last night. They found a man shot. He died on the scene. And around 1:45 this morning, police patrolling Lafayette Road north of 30th Street found 2 people with gunshot wounds inside a car on a bridge. A woman was dead and a man suffered critical injuries. We will bring you updates as we learn more. Now back to our Hiring Hoosiers Marathon. Some people operating IndyGo buses on the new Red Line route are new to the job. IndyGo has been adding those positions and plans to continue adding them as rapid transit expands. RTV6's Meredith Barrick rode along with one driver who loves her job and encourages others to give a career with IndyGo the green light.
Starting a new job can be a bumpy ride.
Very scared. I heard stories about passengers and the things that they do to drivers.
That was 5 years ago.
I love my passengers, every last one of them.
And Misty El-Shabazz says she's managed to steer clear of any trouble while learning the ropes and the routes being an IndyGo driver.
I wasn't really familiar with the city. That will probably be the only challenge for me, is this learning the city.
Those fears are now in the rearview mirror, and she's loving life in the driver's seat.
Great benefits. It pays good. It's a great job all over, I have to tell you. Come aboard.
IndyGo doesn't just want you to ride their buses, they need you behind the wheel.
This fall, we are increasing service by about 50%, and then we have the purple line coming on after that and the blue line after that. So over the next several years, we're going to be looking for about 150 additional bus drivers.
To become one of those drivers, you need a GED or high school diploma, plus a clean background check and drug screen.
There are also some functional and physical requirements. So obviously driving a bus, making sure that you're healthy and you can move around and help a passenger strap in who's in a wheelchair.
They also want people who have great customer service skills and are excited about interacting with riders.
Well, have a good day. You too. Don't want you to be late for work.
They're the first ones that you see when you get on the bus, or the last ones that you see, and often they're the only people from IndyGo that you would ever interact with.
That's right. That's good.
Misty is hopeful her experience encourages those spinning their wheels in the job search process.
IndyGo is a great job. I've been here for 5 years. I had some tough times, but I'm here, and I'm working for you. IndyGo. Love my job.
Working for you, Meredith Barrick, RTV6.
Thank you, Meredith. And the Purple Line will connect downtown Indianapolis with Lawrence. Construction is scheduled to start in 2021. The Blue Line will run along Washington Street from the east side to Indianapolis International Airport. That work will start in 2023.
roll. Good job.
Training Four-Legged Friends is helping Indiana inmates prepare for life after prison. I went inside a program that's helping offenders secure jobs once they re-enter the community. Ashley Bowers is a certified pet trainer.
Don't go down.
But Ashley was not always a dog whisperer. She spent 5 years in prison for armed robberies.
When I was incarcerated, I was just kind of floating around doing nothing, really no aspirations to do any better.
That is until Ashley learned about ICAM, the Indiana Canine Assistant Network, where service dogs are trained by inmates in the state's prisons.
So I had no experience, but as time went by, my skills started to advance and I started teaching more advanced behaviors.
These dogs are learning to be fully trained service dogs. Thunder, sit. But the ICAM program is also teaching inmates the skills they need to re-enter society successfully.
So we teach them how to interview. We teach them how to write resumes.
Sean Diamond has been with ICAM for 15 years.
The individuals that are in prison are still human beings, and a lot of them are going to get out. Our recidivism rate in Indiana is around 39%. People that have been in ICAM a year or more, it's around 17%. But what we need to do as a society is provide skills for individuals so they're not living off welfare. They're not having to turn back to crime and then come back to prison, to set them up for success as much as we can, whether it's through jobs, building up their self-esteem, and giving them skills that enable them to go in different directions.
After 3,600 hours of training and curriculum studies, the handlers complete an apprenticeship and receive Department of Labor certificates in service dog training and pet grooming, thus providing the inmates professional skills upon release.
As soon as I got out, within a month of moving to Indianapolis, I had a job and I was working in Greenwood PetSmart.
She later took a job here at the Fisher's Paws and Play Dog Resort and Training Center.
Without ICAM, I would have came out a felon with these pretty big felonies. Nobody was going to be willing to hire me. If it wasn't for my family in ICAM, I would have been, who knows what I would have done.
Giving this former criminal something to be passionate about.
I want to keep this huge rotating circle of dogs from coming into shelters, from becoming strays, from getting euthanized. It's a huge deal.
And inmates must apply for the ICAM program, and they must meet certain qualifications, including having a GED and a good conduct record. And all day, Hiring Hoosiers has been shining a light on industries in desperate need of a new generation of workers. Tonight, we add plumbers to the list. RTV6's Mark Mullins shows what it takes to learn the trade.
In Hendricks County, Kevin Blankenau is on the job, learning while he does the work.
Fixing things, I guess. Kind of comes natural to me.
He's with Justin Dorsey Plumbing out of Danville on an apprenticeship to become a fully licensed plumber, a program that usually takes 4 years. Today, he's looking into a leaky pipe that soaked the floor in the back room of a strip mall store.
Basically, one of the test ports has finally gone bad, and it will need to be ordered and replaced.
Kevin made the switch to pursue plumbing 3 years ago, saying he recognized it's a field that guarantees job security, and he wanted a career with a rising salary.
There are a lot of plumbing jobs out there, and there aren't enough shoes to fill those positions. This is where our apprentices come and we work.
Michael Rogers is Kevin's supervisor. He too made a career switch to plumbing, completed an apprenticeship program while earning money doing hands-on training, and climbed the ranks.
An apprenticeship is a great opportunity for someone who, as I said earlier, meets those criteria where they're personable, they're not afraid to be in front of people, to talk to people, where they're good problem solvers, where they can identify problems and come up with solutions, but they want to learn something new.
Now he's looking for people with that same drive.
I have 3 children and a wife, so I was able to work and still support my family while going to school and while learning the trade.
The owner of this company, whose name appears on the side of the truck, says that people his age are beginning to retire, and that causes some concern for him and the industry.
This trade as a whole across the country is losing thousands of people my age. I'm 60 years old that are going into retirement, and there is a demand. you don't run out of a need for fresh water.
Always a need to flush the toilet or stop a leak. That's the job security Kevin was talking about now and for years to come. But he admits this field is not for those who are wishy-washy.
If you are, you got to be dedicated, I guess, to sticking with it, wanting to learn.
In Danville, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Double majoring in biology and athletic training. And expanded dental assisting.
I will be majoring in biology.
Next, how a high school program is helping students get a head start in a field that's in high demand while saving parents money at the same time. Welcome back. From hospital positions to biotech company careers, science-related jobs are among the highest in demand. Our Rafael Sanchez takes a look at the lab work, setting up a successful path for students.
Gel.
So this is the micropipette.
So first stop, suck it up.
And then we're going to put it in the first well.
This is more than just a biology course at the McKenzie Center at Lawrence Township.
And so then you just repeat the process.
It's separating the DNA, but then it could be organisms, different organisms, bacteria, and it will separate to make certain markers. So then, like, you can compare the DNA and see different mutations as well.
Okay, pull it up.
Students in this upper-level high school class are heading to college, not only with advanced knowledge, but also in many cases with college credit, saving them money and allowing them to get ahead on their career path.
With this course and everything, I feel like, I'm not going to the next level, like, blind. And, like, I have a sense of idea that I know what I'm doing.
This class has offered me many opportunities, such as, like, college credit, especially we're taking this BioL 105 class through Ivy Tech. And so for me, at the University of Alabama, they're going to give me my Bio 1 and my lab for free.
The district works with a number of advisory boards. They're made up of professionals from different industries who have an interest in making sure kids graduate with the skills needed in the workforce.
They tell us exactly what we should be teaching our students, which is really important so that our kids aren't just sitting in a traditional classroom, but getting relevant real-time experiences.
In this classroom alone, science is propelling students to seek a variety of health-related careers in high demand.
And I'm double majoring in biology and athletic training and expanded dental assisting.
I will be majoring in biology.
And I'll be studying biology. Biology.
And I'll be majoring in nursing.
And majoring in biology.
And I'll be majoring in zoology.
I'm going to major in biology.
And I'll be studying psychology.
So in this lab, the results are clear. These are the faces of future success. Working for you in Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Thank you, Ralph. And the McKenzie Center offers several career-based programs for students, including cosmetology, culinary arts, engineering, and construction technology. You're watching RTV6 News at 11. We will be right back.
Beautiful jeweler.
The U.S. Postal Service is holding a job fair this weekend. It goes from 9 to 2 on Saturday, September 7th at the Greater Indiana District Conference Center on Guyon Road on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Full-time and seasonal positions are available. And that wraps up our Hiring Hoosiers Marathon. To learn more about any career training or educational opportunity you saw today or any day, go to the RTV6 app or hiringhoosiers.com. And thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. GMI starts at 4:30 a.m. Have a good night.